Good morning all. Hope we are well. Hope we are doing good. And yes, today is Wednesday the 10th. And yeah, let's get into it. Looks like GJ pushed up yesterday a bit, kind of in a consolidation at the moment, but interesting daily close here. So yeah, I have Nightbot in the chat now. So say hello to Nightbot. Have a look at Nightbot. Oh, spelled that wrong. Morning. Yeah. And check mods. Mods should be able to use Nightbot. If you type exclamation mark socials. Crest, type exclamation mark socials. See what happens. Morning, guys. Morning. Alright, let's get into it. No, not commands. Type socials. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, it works. Sweet. So now socials will be there. We can spam that from time to time. A nice daily close actually. Come down, make a bottom wick, and now made a bottom wick and now flipped up and ended up closing bullish. Enough. Spamming Nightbot. No, it's good. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Easy to, when someone needs to do something, it's really easy. We can just use Nightbot. So yeah, bottom wick, huge bottom wick on the daily. Came down, made a nice bottom wick, now flip bullish, which looks nice to continue and fill this wick. If we look at the 4 hour, this is the only thing concerning here. 4 hours kind of closing at consolidation. And we have this 4 hour resistance here that we need to mark, right? So this is our 4 hour resistance. And we ideally need to be above there or trade to there, but trading to there, 8-7 pips, not really the best. So let's see what we have in terms of ranges. Yeah, that's also 1 hour resistance, so it's going to be a good idea to be above 1 hour resistance. And 30-minute resistance a little bit higher, 15-minute resistance a little bit higher. So I'm just going to move this 4 hour resistance a little bit higher, just so it looks nice on our charts, because we're not trading in here anyways, because it's right next to 4 hour resistance. So we just move it a little bit higher, even though it's not exactly matched on the 4 hour, it doesn't really matter. Above here, we do have this resistance to the left. That is a problem. That's only 3 pips away. But if we do get above that resistance, then maybe we can look to fill this range at 17 pips. So we'll see how these candles close. I'm not going to mark 2 lines like this because it looks a bit messy. I'm just going to visually keep that in the back of my mind. We can see that that's also a 30-minute resistance there. So I'm bullish today. I'm not going to consider this mix because I don't think selling makes any sense until we see at least a 4 hour candle close bearish, because we could consolidate. This could be a 4 hour consolidation and we could still break out the range and continue and fill up to at least this weekly resistance somewhere around here and start to fill the top of the range if we start, especially if we start breaking this 4 hour high here. For sells, I don't think sells make sense until at least we create another resistance. There's no resistance being made. Even lower time frame is still bullish. Even counter trend sells could make sense if we close back in the range below 175 something, but I don't really want to take those type of sells. I'm not too interested in it, so maybe we'll see how it ends up playing out. But at the moment, it doesn't. I'm not too excited to take sells because nothing is showing me that solid resistance form. We're not seeing moves like this moving away from the zone, getting nice pullbacks to continue. It's just consolidating, moving sideways and up, right? So sells don't make sense right off the rip. Buys make more sense at the moment as long as we hold kind of this support. But we can see we're in this consolidation. But when we have consolidation like this, means something's cooking, right? So we can have definitely a chance for a strong move because something's cooking here. Remember, tomorrow we also have the Bank of England interest rate decision comes out. Today we also have CPI. I'm going to talk about CPI and then we're going to look at gold. So be sure to listen up about CPI. So interest rate decision tomorrow. We'll talk more about that tomorrow on tomorrow's stream. That's not till after stream. That's not till like 1 hour pre-New York basically. But today we have CPI. So if we look at CPI, they're expecting it to come, forecast is 5.0, right? So if it comes anything higher than 5.0, then that means inflation is going to be basically bad, right? So that means that inflation is bad, and then it's not going to look likely, then it's not going to be likely that this rumors of the inflation cut is going to happen, and you're probably going to see gold in the short term gonna probably I would say it will have a quick move down first before a move up. But if you do see these numbers come back at as expected, it's gonna kind of be mixed. I don't really know what will happen when it comes back as expected, because it will be mixed. But if you see these numbers come back good, then you're gonna see basically if they come lower than 5, you're gonna see the markets just rally based on the expectation that CPI is lowering, and that we basically see hopes of de-inflation happening, right? Of them reducing inflation rates, because if they can reduce inflation rates, then that will basically be better for the markets essentially, right? So that's what we'll see if those results come out, but we'll have to wait and see what happens today. But very, very interesting. As for looking at gold, on the other hand, as we can see, daily time frame has ended up closing bullish here at support. So we're still creating support. This can make a bottom wick before flipping at CPI. It's definitely possible here. Looking at the 4-hour, we have created this kind of resistance. We only closed one bearish candle here at the moment, and we're trading back up into this range here, right? So we're trading back up into this range, and if we're trading back into this range, then it's a bit tough to take sells just to here. I don't think it's enough. I think I'm still bullish as long as we're respecting this range. We could create support here, and if we do create support, it could be alright to look for some upside, creating support somewhere on top of this range here. But again, today's CPI, trying to get into a trade before will be a little bit tough, but this kind of looks like it wants to based on what we're seeing on the weekly time frame. Weekly is showing us what we have. We have a potential weekly wick fill here. Daily time frame close bullish, 4 hours creating a resistance. This could be a pullback before news gives us an upside push, but we need confirmation of supports being formed, So you could look to get into a position before news, hold stops and profits, and then whatever happens, right? So yeah, that's all potentials and possibilities here on gold. So yeah, if you like the analysis, make sure to leave a like, and if you have any questions, let me know. We did have a question in the Discord chat, and I wanted to pull that up. I wanted to pull this Discord chat up so we can see it here, and we can see basically that this question here. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I have a few basic questions. If you could help me please. First question is, when does a level become irrelevant, right? When does a support level become irrelevant? Like if we have a support, price breaks it to the left, and I understand his question, right? You guys can read the question if you're in the Discord. So when does it become irrelevant? That's the first thing, right? So when do supports levels become irrelevant? And then the next thing is, when do LTAs become irrelevant, right? If it's 6 days old, can we still use it? And thanks in advance, right? So if it's a long question like this, the benefit of me streaming is that I can, I can tell you guys on stream. And if you haven't joined the Discord, I highly recommend you join the Discord. There's plenty of good information in here. Amazing analysis on Bitcoin. So you can see this is the Bitcoin analysis for everyone who trades crypto. We get Bitcoin analysis. This is free. Always react with it. Give it some thumbs up, guys. Give it some, appraisal, because this is in depth, right? Look at this. We have what's the trend doing, what's the lower time frame doing, what's the higher time frame doing, and every single chart, right? So, and a profitable trade, because the work is being put in. So if the work's being put in, you can see profitable trades. A lot of resources here. I talk about all my trades that I take. I post the MetaTrader, and I talk about why I took them, how to manage it, blah blah blah. All the trades are in here from the stream. So definitely check it out, but let's answer the question. So the first question is, when does support and resistance become irrelevant? So if you think of it like this, if you're marking a resistance like this, and this was your resistance, now it's broken through, but it became support, this is the most recent because this is the most recent support. So even though it did react off this, it's still relevant because it created support. And if it came back down like this and now became resistance, until the candle creates resistance, you don't know if this is going to be a resistance. But once that resistance is created, then you mark the most recent. So it's always relevant as long as price is reacting there, right? So if we take this, for example, right, we don't know if this level here is going to be relevant just yet, right? Until we see a resistance form. Because if price just pushes through this level, it's not going to be relevant. But if price then came back to this level and created a support, I'm going to mark the support because that's the most recent information, right? So that's how you know when it's relevant, and just mark the most recent price action. If you look at our markup here, we're marking the most recent 4 hour, we're marking the most recent 1 hour, we're marking the most recent 30-minute, right? We're just marking our way up on the charts here, right? And that's how it's going to work. As for LTA, yes, you can use LTAs for 6 days old, but the thing is that old LTAs like years ago, the problem is the economic conditions were a little bit different at that time, and it, you know, you can't be sure if it's going to play out exactly. The one thing I will say is when you have a massive LTA like this, don't expect it to be, you know, a lot of people make a mistake, and when they're trading this LTA, they're like, okay, fine, candle closed here, I expect the next candle to fill all the way up to here. No, it doesn't necessarily have to happen in the same day. You can get a move enough to make a profitable trade, but as you can see in this scenario, we did eventually fill the LTA. If this is our next support, you can see it eventually did get filled, but we dipped down lower before it actually did get filled. So don't expect the whole LTA, just expect a range, right? Because you're not supposed to, you know, you don't trading this whole range in one candle. This is like 50-60 pips. It's rare for it to be completely filled. It happens, but not all the time. You know, you kind of want to be trading what's relevant, and this is kind of relevant, like 16-20 pips, you know, if there's volume in the market. You know, you just need to manage your trade. So that's how to know if LTAs are relevant or not. Hope that answers your question. I'll just double check if that's exactly what you meant, and we can see. Yeah, so it doesn't. For example, we are on the 50-minute time frame. We're looking for buys. So we have a closure above the range, and we have LTA left 5-6 days old. Can we still use it? Yes, you can. That is still fine. And just make sure to target the relevant resistance. So yeah, that's fine. How do you know when resistance is formed? That's a very easy question. Resistance is formed when you're on a time frame. So let's say we're on the 15-minute and candles are closing bullish, right? When candles are closing bullish, but then we have one candle closing bearish, just that one candle closing bearish has created resistance. This candle here closing bearish created a resistance here, right? It's obviously a weak resistance because the candle's not strong and we only have one candle closing. So that's just a candle closing bearish after a bullish candle creates resistance. You know, to create a high, if two candles close bearish, then it creates a stronger resistance, right? And that's how you do it. So yeah, just one on all time frames. Yes, exactly. That's how you define a resistance. But to define a high would be two or more candles closing bearish to define a high, right? So to define a market high, we'd have two or more bearish candles closing. That considers it to be a high, right? But that doesn't mean a reversal. They're not the same thing. A high just means like a stronger, but just a basic resistance is when a candle closes bearish after bullish, right? So we can see our price is struggling because it created resistance. 44 of us in here, 20 likes. We can easily get that up to 35, I'm sure. Because I know you guys all good support. Do the YouTube business, the boring YouTube business. All good, Paul. Crest is in the chat. He'll want me to look at AU. So before he asks, I can have a look at AU. He took sales yesterday, which he shared in the Discord. So let's go and rate his sales for the time being. Here's his sales. Yeah, stop loss is pretty good. You know, very, very safe stop loss here. I really think that maybe he can just move stop loss above this candle high here and manage if anything is just closing against him, right? Because it's enough to manage. But this is a very safe stop loss. Close below this support, fill this LTA, closed here. Pretty safe trade. I like it. I don't think there's anything you can improve on it. Maybe entering on this candle close here instead of the next one to target this area here, right? So enter a bit earlier to target this, and then look to see once you reach this zone, you can go break even, and you can allow this to, if it closes below, then guess what? You're in a very good position. You can have the same stops as well. So that's your improvement for the trade, and that's how you improve that trade, right? Pretty simple. For AU today, close bearish at the top of the range, looks very nice. We have this downwards, yeah. 4 hour needs to close ideally bearish here to take sells. Yeah, I think best sells are gonna come today below 0.6744, probably below there. As for lower time frame, you could try sell once price closes back into this range if it's big enough. Yeah, I don't think that's big enough. I don't know. AU looks really small ranges. But yeah, just be careful with this rejection zone. And yeah. Can I look at altcoins? I don't usually look at altcoins. But we'll make an exception for you. Just because, why not? Yeah, this looks typical altcoin, continuing down from hero to zero. Look at this after launch. This altcoin launched and just crashed. 15-minute time frame. Yeah, I think if you start getting below this 0.871, you can find yourself to move down towards 0.862. But for the time being, we're just going sideways. There's not much volume in here. This is why I don't like altcoins. There's no volume here. Enter at 0.877 for what? For sells or for buys? Those were my questions, LTA. Thank you so much for your continued help, Harry. All good, man. Thanks for asking the questions. If you don't ask the questions, you don't get the answers, right? And yeah, you see, nice detailed question. Wanted was very clear with the question, so I'll answer that stuff. Hey man, do you have any tips on what time frames I should mainly be looking for breakouts? I use new breakout strategy. I'm a beginner, so I get confused on what time frames I should look at. If you're a beginner and you have a breakout strategy, you shouldn't just be trading a breakout strategy. You should be trading a whole strategy, in terms of you should either be trading a price action based strategy, which includes breakouts in it, right? One of the setups can be breakouts, because breakouts can also be fake outs if you don't know what you're doing. So I would say if you're taking a breakout, stop taking a break of a zone and wait for candles closing above those zones, right? So when we have a nice zone to take a trade, wait for the candle to close above, and then use the 15 and 30 minute. I think will be the best for you to take closures above range and remove that idea of when price breaks it, I'm pressing buy. I think you will lose money long term like that, and I've never seen anyone successful just taking a break of a zone, unless you really know what you're doing and you know how to take breakout trades. But most of the time it's not really a breakout, it's a very situational based trade, right? Sells, yeah, that's fine. I do think it looks bearish more than bullish. Just I don't know whether you get the volume or not. So yeah. That's the session plan up here. Bias is bullish. Buys outside of the range. Hey man, support and resistance zone is liquidity. No, it's not liquidity. Liquidity simply just means price movement, right? I recommend you watch this video. So liquidity just means like, does price have the juice to move in a different direction? This whole idea of sweeping liquidity, taking out the highs, taking out the lows, I don't think that's a good strategy to trade, you know, because it doesn't always happen. I mean, you could say, you know, take out the low, but we can see that after this candle has pulled back, rejected and closed back in the range, this gives you, you see, this gave the juice. You see, look at this. So we can see we're ranging. And once we get this big move woods down, that kind of gives you like a spring. It's like loading a rubber band to say, okay, fine, liquidity is grabbed to give us potentially, once this candle gets above, boom, an upside move here, right? This juice came from that move down. So essentially, when we see higher highs and higher lows, they're grabbing liquidity for us to continue price. So I'd really recommend you watch this video. This video explains it in depth, and yeah, in really good depth of exactly how you should be doing it, which is price action liquidity. Where is it? Yeah, this one. Smart money concept liquidity versus price action liquidity. I really think this video will help you a lot and is very, very informative. Took a sell on gold at 2030 till 2029. Let's have a look. 2030 here. Yep, I can see it. 2030 777. Higher. 777. Somewhere here. Yeah, that's fine, man. To 2029. 260. Somewhere around here. Yeah, just targeting. I would probably prefer 700 to target this support, because you can see you got in the trade and this was the support, and once you got in the trade, boom, it rejected. This is a loss of income here, right? Now it puts you in drawdown. So you really want to be targeting the next support, right? This wants to be your target, and to avoid this drawdown, right? You want to just be done here, and if you really want to go again, you could. But at least at this point, there's no question that this rejects and maybe started to continue up and you lose the trade instead of having your profits just taken here. Plan on buying GJ 171.84. Yeah, that's a bit late, man. It makes sense above this range, but that's a bit late. By the time we reach here, the move will most likely be done. You want to get in a bit earlier to trade 2 there. By the time you're buying up here, the move is already done, right? Is there any of friends of yours that stream too? No, unfortunately, I don't have any friends that stream. And I write notes to remind myself to be patient. Oh, wait, you asked a question. Thanks, man. I also got 1, identify the trend. 2, mark the support and resistance. 3, wait for close above resistance. Yeah, identify not the trend, identify the bias. Right, so watch my session bias video. The first thing you have to do is identify the bias. What are you looking for? Buys or sell? Then you, first you do your markup, then identify the bias. You can do, which way you do those doesn't really matter. And then you wait for a close above, yep. Wait for pullback retest. Not always you need to wait for a pullback or retest. You don't always have to wait for that pullback or retest, because sometimes you will not get a retest, right? You'll just get a bottom wick. So you should be happy with just a bottom wick. So if you see a bottom wick, should be enough. And I write notes to remind myself to be patient. Don't ignore warning signs, like a change of pattern and no unnecessary risk. Yeah, that's a good approach, man. 1 hour's open here, no bottom wick. Last 1 hour did not close above resistance. Interesting push here. Right off the rip, no bottom wick, just bye bye. You know, immediate volume came in here from the European banks of 6 pips. Nothing crazy. But yeah, we don't even have the 1 hour closing above, so not really any options on the 1 hour. So we have to wait for a 15-minute to close above or something like that, you know. Preferably, I'd like to see a 1 hour make the bottom wick, just so we don't have to worry about it while we're in our trade, right? Because if we take a buy, let's say we take a buy somewhere up here, and we have to put stop loss below. Yeah, 14 pips stop loss is not too bad. Yeah, I don't mind putting it. So even if we do get a bottom wick while we're in our trade, we'll still be okay. But I just don't want to hold that drawdown. But you know, sometimes if it's the only way in, there's nothing we can do. If this just does a mad one now and starts pushing, then there's nothing we can do, of course. I wait for a pullback when the candle closed far from the zone. How to draw valid 4 hour zone for future reaction. Mostly I see market uptrend and I mark unmitigated. No, this is all smart money concepts, man. Just focus on marking the most relevant support and resistance. How can you prove that something is unmitigated, and how can you prove that that is a good order block? There's variance there, right? I mean, unmitigated just basically for people who don't trade smart money. When I started trading, I used to trade smart money, so I know what a few of these concepts are, but never worked for me. Unmitigated just means that a zone that is not tested. Like smart money traders, they believe that if a zone is not tested, it has to be tested at some point. And they wait for that zone to be tested. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. You just need to trade zone to zone. So look for the most recent support and resistance on the 4 hour and mark this. So as you can see, my most recent 4 hour resistance is where we are, and it rejected twice, so it is very, very relevant. Your session bias video, this one. Not this one, this is mixed. This is next, so watch that after. But the first one you watch is this one. Session bias, stop getting direction wrong in Forex, with a free indicator as well. Then you can watch this mixed session bias next. A bit of a push here. Interesting to see. Would be nice if this 1 hour just had that bottom wick, then we don't have to worry about it, and then we can make a decision on this close, if we're gonna take a trade or not. Range is pretty small, huh? From this candle high to the top here is only 14 pips. So we have to imagine a candle gives us a big move like this. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I wish the range, I wish this was at least like, from here to here was at least like 25 pips. So at least we can go break even somewhere. Because here we're really going break even at here. But look at this push. Big rejection as well. Wow, a lot of volume in the markets now. You can see how this is pushing. Yeah, I don't think, I think this is just gonna give a one-time here, one-time push towards the upside. See, now it's broken that high. It's an interesting price action here. Bit of news, there was Euro news. I think this might be due to Euro news. CPI, right? Euro CPI could have a little bit of impact as to why we're seeing a bit of a push here. But yeah, let's see how this 15-minute candle closes here. If this closes like this, I do need a support on the 5-minute, which it's trying to create. You know, the thunderstorm setup, because that's what we want. We want a thunderstorm setup in this. Yes, sir. You know it. So, who? This is why you don't take breakout trades, right? Because of this rejection. If you had the close above, there's a lot of confirmation because now it's closed above. But now you don't know if it's going to close above, reject. There's no signs, right? You're just hoping now. But when it's closed above, at least that's one thing less. So that's why you don't want to just take a random breakout trade from the zone. Give me a minute. Just going to go to the toilet. One sec. Also, the free webinar, I'm gonna put up a poll today for the free webinar to see when we want to do it, weekend or weekday. I'll do that. Look at that. That's a nice retest, huh? To 4-hour resistance. Wow, I really like that. I really, really like that. This might be good if this closes like this after this retest and we get the next one closing above like this, you know, and then we can take it at the break of the high, and that's a classic thunderstorm setup, right? Because the next one closing like this will also be the 15-minute candle close. So we have the confirmation of the 15, we'll have the 5 that closes above as well to give us an entry. Stop loss will go back in the range and we target the top of the range. Right, we target somewhere around, if we take it here, yeah, that's only 10 pips. That sucks, but you know, we'll see what happens. Go to break even around here, but target the top of the range. Very small range. Will what be limited? The next 1-hour resistance is available or valid or invalid? No, it's valid. It's possible, but we need a close above, right? But that's our target. Unfortunately, it's a tiny target, because if you're entering at the break of the high, it's only 12 pips. So it kind of sucks, to be honest. It kind of sucks. We don't have much of a range to trade, but no, it will be open, free. It's a free webinar, open to all. Anyone will be able to join. So this kind of sucks that it's only 12 pips, but if it's the only option we have to get in a trade, then we have to try profit off it, right? At least make something, right? Morning, morning, Tom. Count you in? Yes, sir. What's your plan today, Tom? What's your plan? Just finish your first vid. Nice indicator. No worries, man. Man's watching the video while on stream to make sure he really understands it. Yeah, this is the indicator. I'm not sure if you can see it with me. Yeah, you will be able to see it. That's the one. Very good. It's a basic indicator. It's not everything. So understand that. But yeah, we're now at 4-hour resistance. Is it better to wait for support formation above it because the 4-hour candle might respect the level and close below? Yeah, that's a good point. If we close above this 4-hour support, the lower time frames are now trying to create support above. So that will give us the information and confirmation to be able to take a trade. So I'm not too worried about that. Morning, David. Currently at the moment, that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to create support above. So we'll see if it manages or it ends up rejecting. 2 minutes for this candle to close, and this is the candle that's going to give us a lot of information here. This is the candle that's going to determine if we're going to be able to take a trade or not. Bro, if we mark any zone, wick, range, it's also covered or not? No, body to body is important. Body to body. Always mark the bodies. The support formation should be 15-minute or 5-minute. It can be either or, but if there's volume like this where price is moving fast, we can sometimes use the 5 minutes, right? You said the 15-30 minute to catch breakouts? Yes. I recommend you watch this video as well, top 3 price action entries. This is a very good video, and it gives you a free PDF in my Discord. There's a free PDF. I'll show you it after in case we just need to concentrate on what's going on now. But there's a free PDF of some setups with the timeframes. So I want to see how this 5-minute close needs to close deeper than this, needs to close a little bit more bullish for me to be able to take a trade here. If not, we'll have to see how the next one opens, and if we get a nice bottom wick and then we start breaking the high, maybe is even an option. But it's closing a little bit weaker than I wanted to, but yeah, now it's even trying to flip bearish. So I'd prefer to see a bullish close here. So new 15-minute candle here, left a long wick towards the upside. We could get this wick fill here, but even the lower time frames has not created support. So I would like to see this 5-minute candle possibly close above here, right? And if it can close above, then that would be ideal, right? If we could get a close where it can close above that zone, and yeah. So let's see in 5 minutes. Then we also have a zone to manage, right? If this is a support, any close back into range can cut the trade. Max stop loss down here. back inside the range, probably below 177.26 will probably be SL. Alright, we're pushing up here pretty nicely. 3 minutes for this candle to close. Hopefully it doesn't just break through like that. It's tough, guys. I think this is just gonna push. Might enter half risk now and then half later. That might be an option, just to enter half risk now. And it's gone without me. Yeah. So we'll see if we can pull back a little bit, and then I can grab an entry here. As soon as this pulls back a little bit more, I'll be able to grab an entry, but not like this. Around 700, 710, 720, something like that. Yeah, this is pushed up already 2-3 pips. I can't enter now. It's already 2-3 pips. With spread and everything, I'm late in my entry. And I wanted a close above here. So let's just see what ends up happening. Hopefully we can get some sort of small pullback. But if this just pushes, then it pushes. Nothing we can do here. Unfortunate, but sometimes price doesn't give you the entry you wanted. Very unfortunate. Yeah, it's a little bit painful to watch this, but we can't do it if it doesn't follow our rules. Moved a bit fast. Maybe could have left a buy stop at the break of the high. But yeah, we'll see. 1 minute for this candle to close. Next one makes a top wick, bottom wick. If it pulls back and makes a bottom wick to here, I can try get in. But if not, then that's my shot. Yeah, this thing looks like it wants to keep pushing. Come on, GJ, take us with you. It's potential. We'll see. It looks like it wants to keep pushing here, but we'll see. $42 seconds for this candle to close. The next one, if it can make a nice bottom wick here, come back to around anywhere in this zone here. As soon as it comes back, I'll just press buy. But it looks like it wants to push. Ugh. Terrible, guys. Terrible. Ugh. Live trade, let's go. Every week live trade, brother. Look at the bottom of your screen. That's the stats of the trades. Win rate. Where it says win rate, that's the statistics. Now, it's very unlikely we get this bottom wick all the way down to here. But if this just does the madness and comes all the way down to here, then I have an option to get an entry. If not, then that's it. This trade is done because it's already at... This is like already at a break-even point here. Right? We would be break-even, yeah, right around here. That's where break-even would be, somewhere around here. So yeah, that's unfortunate. It pushed super fast, immediately went through that zone. But if we entered just on that, we would be slipped. Our entry would probably be all the way up here. So we would only be 3-4 pips in profit at the moment. So nothing crazy. That's why we want more of an accurate entry. And sometimes price just doesn't do what we want it to do. And we have to wait for more options. But that sucks. But sometimes it's like that. Nothing we can do. Ugh, terrible. Happy to see it play out. Happy to see it play out. I mean, it's only 8 pips. It's only 8 pips we'd be up because of the spread. Spread would have messed us up. No FOMO? No FOMO at all. Sometimes it's going to be like that. Just sucks because we planned this trade from the morning, but one condition didn't allow us to enter. One condition only, right? So it's all good. Now we just watch it. Nice to see it play out though. I'm happy to see it play out. If only, see, the condition I wanted, fine. This 5 minutes not closing bullish. If this closes slightly bullish, at least I can take it at the break of the high. Then by the time it reached here, it's late, right? Because if you notice, when we look back at how the candle was all the way up here. We wanted to be entering somewhere here, but then this candle did not close bullish. This could easily make a top wick, reject, and now you're in drawdown. So you want the confirmation. If it's going to break this high, yeah, it's a good entry at the break of this high, re-breaking this high. But then again, now it's a very, very small range here to here. This is only a 10 pip range. It's not enough with spread and everything. By the time you get triggered, your entry is going to be triggered somewhere higher here, and your break even is basically here, and we'd be break even by now. So although it looks really, really easy trade, but in reality it would be a bit tough if you took this, and that's why we're not in, because it didn't give us the options, right? Don't you think you need to better your conditions? All right, then, if that's the case, tell me what to better it to. Tell me what to better my conditions, if that's your analysis. Let's go. Let's hear it, David. If that's your comment, then you have to have a reply to your comment. Try improve your trading plan? No. Because if I try change anything to my trading plan, then what happens is that you skew your results, right? So you have to make sure to follow your plan and don't break anything. Don't try fix anything that's not broken, right? It's a big mistake people make in trading, is that they get, they're like, okay, I missed this one move today. If you guys have been watching the stream for a while, every single trade on stream except for one loss that was on a bank holiday, that was a riskier trade that I even said was riskier. Otherwise we would be at 100% win rate, and the reason we're at 100% win rate is because I'm choosing options that are very, very high probability options. And with this type of trade where we have a resistance to the left, price closed inside of the resistance, it closed weak bullish just above the range. the 5-minute was closing bearish. To take it just as it breaks this high zone here is risky. Is it an option? Yes. Would have this allowed me to get into the trade today? Yes. But by the time we got in the trade, my entry is going to be where this line is. Where this line is going to be my entry. With spread, it's going to be somewhere here by the time we got in the trade. And if you measure, I would have only been up 8 pips, 9 pips, and I would have gone break even because we're tapping into resistance here on the left. So now I'm very close to break even. So we'll see if this would have tapped me out break even or go to take profit. Because your take profit, and if you look, right, take profit would have been the 1 hour resistance. So that's 11 pips, which is very, very small. And my stop loss would have to be back in the range for 15 pips. So negative RR, which is not always an issue, but it makes it tough. If you really wanted to get in this trade, then maybe Asian session somewhere down here would have been better, but we don't trade Asian. And also you'd have to hold a lot of drawdown and sideways and wondering if the trade still makes sense or not, you know? Maybe after this pullback here or Asian session somewhere around here or wherever, you know? This candle. But yeah, I expect this to continue up. I don't see any reason as to why it should not. But it's tough. It's not moving as we... Can we get a second entry if we see a pullback to enter high or low? Yes, we can get a second entry if we see a pullback for sure. That's not an issue. Especially with London Open. If this really wants to continue pushing, London Open in 30 minutes, we can definitely get a second entry or find another way in. In reality, we haven't missed anything because this is not even enough profits to close. 9 pips with spread, as you guys know, is not enough profits to close. Once you start trading live, 9 pips is not enough. I would be break even now, and I'll tell you what, let's see. If we enter this, our entry is going to be here. With spread somewhere, it would be triggered maybe something like this. So I would be break even. Let's see if we get hit break even or not. There we go, it's coming close. And not break even yet, so maybe you just survived. Just survived, maybe. So we'll see if this would have been a winning trade or break even trade. You're surviving, I'll tell you one thing, you're definitely surviving. What's my spread on my broker? Around 0.8 pips. But this was high volume when the candles, if you notice, the candle was moving super fast, so it probably was jumping to 1 pip. Exactly, yeah, with spread and commissions, definitely you'll find that you need at least 14 pips to get a 10 pip trade. So 14 pips on the chart equals 10 pips on your broker. That's what you guys will notice. But it looks like you would have survived here, which is interesting to see. I think GJ just wants to rub it in my face, you know, and probably run for another 200 pips. But it's all good. Spread on GJ is 0.8 pips to 1 pip. My spread on GJ is 0.8 and on gold 1.4 using Vantage. Exactly, yeah. I think Vantage and IC markets use very, very, very similar liquidity providers, and you'll see spread is almost exactly the same. Spread right now, low spread is love, yes. Spread exactly right now. Yeah, 0.89, 1 pip. 8, 9, 1 pip. Yeah, that's spread exactly now. Most likely this might have been break-even trade here. Yeah, that would have been me out at break-even actually. I wouldn't have held this. I would only want to see this next 50 make a small bottom wick and flip and go. Liquidity grab? No, I think, yeah, it's definitely you could hold this trade, but this thing can pull back as far as here and still continue. And that's where I'll grab my entry. If this pulls back nicely to here, I'm going to grab an entry in here to continue up, which will be better than our original entry that we were looking for. So I want this to pull back. Once this pulls back, I can get even a better entry. Buying at the break of this high, the range is not enough. Again, we have to measure. I know these candles look big, but they're not big at all. Like, that move was like 9 pips. 9 pips only. It's nothing a 9 pip move, you know? If you haven't liked the stream, I really would appreciate liking the stream. Nightbot sleeping. Where is Nightbot? Waiting for small long on Euro USD. Nightbot broke. Got upset with DJ. Crest, try Nightbot. Yeah, longs can make sense if this 4-hour flips. Daily is also bearish though, but coming from support. 4-hour looks good. Yeah, if this can close bullish. Yeah, just be careful of this resistance here and here, that's all. Damn. Broke, huh? Nightbot. Nightbot left the stream. Yeah, I went for a toilet break. Seems like it. Gold, you know. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Now it all comes in. As we said it. It's back from the toilet. It's like, oh shit. I need to quickly type it all up. Well, that's my Instagram. And the Discord channel. Gold is looking... Yeah, gold is tough. If it can create support and close above 2031, maybe you can get some upside here. But otherwise, it's tough. Do you have stats on people improvement from being in your program? Yeah, I do. Uh, it's in here. Program experience. You guys can check it out in Discord. A lot of people writing about what here, you know, their results and what they found out, and you can, yeah, you can read it, man. You can read it, read all of those in your own time. It's in the Discord. It's full of information and what people have found out. What's more emotional damage? Missing a trade because you're waiting for a pullback or good entry and it didn't happen, or missing or entering early and seeing you in drawdown? See you, take care. Have a good day as well. Thanks for showing up. I would say entering too early and going in drawdown, because then you tell yourself, I should have not have been in that trade. I mean, moves happen on the chart all the time. You know, so we don't have, if you miss a move, it's not the end of the day of the world, right? I mean, the moves happen on the charts all the time, you know, so you'll be able to find a move the next day or later on or in a couple of hours. But a losing trade, you can't take back. Once you've lost the trade and the money is lost, it's gone, you know. The only way you're making it back is if you then take a winning trade. But most people, you know, they lose a trade after taking a losing trade because they're trying to FOMO back into a move, or, you know, not trade within their plan, you know, force another trade. So yeah, I think missing a trade is not bad at all. If you're a swing trader and you miss a trade, it's terrible, because swing traders don't get to trade often, right? They maybe take one trade a week. So if they miss that one trade that they've been waiting all week for, it sucks. It sucks, especially if it starts playing out and it does really well and runs 200-300 pips. They're really upset. Thanks for your answer, bro. All good, all good. Drawdown is brutal, man. It's part of the game. If I've taken a trade that I know is a good trade and I can trust it, I don't mind holding drawdown. Drawdown is not a worry for me. It's part of the game. You can expect to hold drawdown. So if I take a trade and it's a good trade and I trust my idea, but I'm holding drawdown, I'm not stressing too much. It's not nice, but it's I would recommend you guys watch yesterday's stream. Yesterday's stream, we take a trade and we took a sell, and after, like, it was in profits, and then after 2-3 minutes it went immediately 10 pips in drawdown in 1 minute. And you see my reaction when we go in drawdown. I'll say, yeah, it's not nice, but we just have to trust the plan and see what happens, right? And that's what we did. We just waited, we were patient, and then it went out of drawdown back into profits, and it wasn't doing anything, so decided to close at break even. End of story. Look at Dixie. Yeah, I can have a look at Dixie. I haven't looked at it a while. Yeah, Dixie holding this weekly support here. Daily is also holding this support. Yeah, it's at a bouncing zone, man. This could easily push through just as hard as it could bounce up, right? If we do end up closing below this zone, I think we'd see a pretty deep downside move on Dixie. But for the meantime, it looks like it wants to be a bit sideways and up. I don't see it breaking down from here just yet. You know, sideways and up, basically, I just see at the moment. Alright guys, I'm gonna call the stream here. We need to wait for either a nicer pullback to come deeper into here to take trades. Taking it at the break of the high here in 4 minutes is an option, but the range is only 8 pips. So you have to be careful about 8 pip range. In my opinion, it's too close to 1 hour resistance. It is a possibility here to take it at the break of this high if this candle closes bearish. But 8 pips is just a very, very small range. You really have to rely on it breaking this range, which is a possibility, but it'd be better to see what happens at London Open so we can use the volume to our advantage. So that's what I'll be waiting. As for today, I'll keep you guys updated in the group, so be sure you're in the group. And yeah, unfortunate, but again, not a crazy trade, not like the trades we take where we push straight into deep profits and easy 20, 16, 20 pips. This is was a very slow move, and if we were still holding the trade, we would only be up 1.4 pips and now actually in drawdown. So it's not too bad. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Leave a like before leaving the stream, and hopefully catch you tomorrow for the next stream. And take care, and see you guys very, very soon. Peace.